Alhamdulillahi Rabbil Alameen, wassalatu wassalamu ala Rasul Kareem. Alhamdulillah, I will be reading today a brief biography of the great Hanbali Imam, the Zahid, Abu Isma'il Al-Ansari, rahimahullah ta'ala. His full name is Abu Isma'il, Abdullah ibn Muhammad ibn Ali ibn Muhammad ibn Ahmad ibn Ali ibn Ja'far ibn Mansur ibn Matta Al-Ansari Al-Harawi. He is also referred to as Shaykh Al-Islam, the memorizer, the commentator, the preaching Sufi, the Imam of Muslim Orthodoxy in Herat. On account of his great and vast knowledge, he was called the preacher to the non-Arabs. Imam Al-Harawi was born in the month of Sha'ban in the year 396 AH in Herat, Afghanistan, to humble origins. On account of his being a direct descendant of Abu Ayyub Al-Ansari on his father's side, he bears the title Al-Ansari. On his mother's side, he was Pushtun. In his youth, Al-Harawi started his education with Yahya ibn Ammar al-Sajazi in the field of hadith and also commentary on the Quran. This is the first subject covered after memorization of the Quran. The Imam carried on in his pursuit of knowledge with Abu al-Fadl al-Jarudi and Shu'aib al-Bushanji, taking knowledge of hadith classification from them. Moving to Naysabur, not long after, he sat with Abu Sa'id al-Sirafi, Abu Nasr, Abu al-Hasan al-Tarrazi, and also spent a brief spell with the Qadi Abu Bakr al-Hayari, although he was only in the gathering and did not hear from him directly. Not long after this, Imam al-Harawi made his way to Tus and Bistam and took a great wealth of knowledge from the teachers there, narrating, dictating, and listening to commentaries upon hadith and making notes upon what he heard. In regards to his written legacy, Imam Abu Isma'il Al-Ansari Al-Harawi had a wide written legacy, penning texts in both Arabic and Farsi. A short list of these is as follows. Dhammul Kalam. This represents a harsh critique of speculative theology and the inclusion of Neoplatonism into texts of theology. This work is in both Arabic and Farsi. We then next have Manaqib al-Imam Ahmad ibn Hanbal, a hagiographic account of the life and teachings of Imam Ahmad ibn Hanbal, which includes inspirational utterances and aphorisms for the reader to use in his own life. This work is also in Arabic and Farsi. Next, Tabaqat al-Sufiyya. This is in Farsi with Arabic footnotes and facing pages which details the lives of some of the great saints of Islam. Some of these are from Afghanistan, India, Southeast Asia, while most biographies center around the early generations. We also have perhaps one of his most famous works, Manazil al-Sa'irin. This is a text in Arabic that discusses the states of the heart, purification of the heart, tasawwuf, good character, and perfecting one's inner and outward state. This work was also penned by the great Imam in Arabic. In regards to his scholarly legacy, the Qadi, the Imam Abu Hussein Al-Hanbali, when speaking of the Imam, said the following. He was known as Shaykh Al-Islam, the Imam of Muslim Orthodoxy in Herat. He was also named the preacher to the non-Arabs on account of his deep and profound knowledge, his sagacity and brilliance. Al-Harawi was stern in debate against the Ash'aris, and there was much discussion and written debate between him and Abdurrahman ibn Mandah. As a side note, when we read about these early scholars debating the Ash'aris, this comes down primarily to the rejection of speculative theology and the interpretation of the attributes and names of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. As the first three generations, they did not delve into speculative theology, in Arabic ilmul kalam, and they did not make ta'wil, meaning they did not interpret the names and attributes of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So, especially the Hanbalis, who were very stern in this affair, they used to adhere strictly to the first three generations. When the Ash'aris came with ijtihad in the affair of using speculative theology and ta'wil, the Hanabila rejected this. However, it is also during this time that the great Imam Al-Qadi Abu Ya'la rahimahullah also declares the Ash'ari to be from Ahl Sunnah wal Jama'ah. So this is in reference to the debates that they used to hold with the Ash'aris. We continue reading. The Imam Ibn Rajab Al-Hanbali rahimahullah said of Imam Al-Harawi, he was a great master, the knowledgeable Imam, worshipper, avoider of earthly desires, possessor of high states, levels and ranks, saintly wonders, and personal struggle. He had a great deal of worship at night with very little sleep. The Imam was stern in standing by the Sunnah and its assistants, opposing those who contradicted it, and he suffered a great many trials on account of that. In addition to this, he also had a strong and emphatic desire to assist and show respect to the school of Imam Ahmad ibn Hanbal, rahimahullah. Imam Al-Harawi narrated the following incident about his life. He said, I set out to meet with the Shaykh Abu Hassan al-Jarkani al-Sufi and spend time with him. I determined to start making my way back home when there occurred to me the idea of meeting Abu Hatim ibn Khamush at Ray. He was based there and was the foremost of Muslim orthodoxy in Ray. Now during that time, the Sultan Mahmud ibn Sabaktakin had entered at Ray and had killed the Batiniya there and forbade any of the sects of speculative theology to preach from the niches except for Abu Hatim al-Khanush. Due to this point, anyone that entered Ar-Ray from the rest of the sects had to bring his theology to him. If he approved of the theology expounded, he gave permission for him to address the people, and if the theology was not approved, he prevented the individual. When I came close to the city, there was a man with me in the street from the people of the city. He asked me about my creed. I stated that I was Hanbali. The man replied that it was a creed that he had not heard of and that it was an innovation. He took me by my clothes and said he would not let go of me until he brought me to the Shaykh Abu Hatim. I responded that this was fine by me as I was already planning on meeting him anyway. So the man brought me to the house of the Shaykh, and at that time there was a very large gathering present. The man said, Shaykh, the stranger just came here. When I asked him about his creed, he spoke of a creed that I have not heard before this time. Shaykh Abu Hatim asked, what did he say? The man replied, he said, I am Hanbali. Shaykh Abu Hatim said, leave him alone. Whoever is not Hanbali in his theology is not a Muslim. So I was set loose and I remained with the Shaykh a number of days and then set out. Close quote. The Imam Abdul Qadir Rahawi said, we were informed by Abu Sa'ad al-Sayyikh who said, I heard Abdul Jabbar ibn Abu al-Fadl al-Sirafi say, I heard a group of the students of Shaykh al-Islam Al-Ansari saying, we heard our Shaykh al-Islam Abu Isma'il Al-Ansari recite sections of poetry in Farsi, which in translation read, our God shall be seen in the hereafter. He is above the throne, istiwa. His speech is eternal. His messenger is Arab by the way. Whoever should speak in other than the above is Ash'ari, while our madhab and way is indeed known as Hanbali. This was a statement of the Shaykh. It was further stated by the Imam in his own theology, as long as I live, my theology is Hanbali. Indeed, when I die, I advise the people before that to maintain creed that is Hanbali. It can be seen from this that the Imam was very firm on the theology of the early generations and did not want people delving into speculative theology that can lead to ruination. In regards to the trials and tribulations that the Imam went through, Imam Abu Isma'il Al-Harawi said of his great tribulation, there were 5 occasions I faced the sword. It was never said to me, leave your theology. Rather, it was said to me, stay silent regarding those who oppose you. I replied, I cannot stay silent. Ibn Tahir remarked, the Sultan Alab Arslan came to Herat and with him was his minister Abu Ali al-Hasan ibn Ali ibn Ishaq. A gathering was brought together in which there were imams of the schools of Al-Shafi'i and Abu Hanifa that complained about Al-Ansari and sought to bring about a debate with him. The minister summoned Imam Al-Ansari, and when the Imam was present he said, these people assembled here have gathered to debate with you. If the truth be with you, then they will commit to your theology. If the truth be with him, then you shall commit to their theology or remain silent about them from today. The Imam said, I will debate what I have with me of my creed and the substance of it in my 2 hands. The minister asked, what is the substance of what is with you? The Imam responded, the book of Allah, pointing to his right. Then pointing to his left, he said, then there is the sunnah of the Messenger of Allah sallallahu alaihi wasallam. The 2 authentic collections have the sunnah within them. He looked at the people so as to seek an answer from them, but they hesitated as there was no possibility that anyone could debate with him using these criteria. The Imam Al-Ansari breathed his last on Friday afternoon after the Asr prayer, 22nd of Dhul Hijjah in the year 481 AH, and buried on Saturday night in a graveyard named كازياركا, near the city of Herat. Alhamdulillah, we ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to have mercy upon Imam Abu Isma'il Ansari and to have mercy upon all of these scholars of Muslim orthodoxy. Peace and blessings be upon the Messenger of Allah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam. Walhamdulillahi Rabbil Alameen.